We're already a little into 2025, and if you're like most people, those goals that you set at the beginning of the year, those New Year's resolutions, if you will, they might be feeling a little out of touch at this point. Or maybe you didn't have the chance to set or define any goals for the new year at all, and now you're feeling a little stuck. Like, well, this is feeling a lot like 2024 and other years prior, and I wanted to make change, but I didn't, and now the new year came and went, and it's February, and I basically have 10 more months until I get that reset again. Wrong. Life resets every like minute. Like literally, like you can mentally make the choice to reset your path, reset your direction, reset your mindset every single minute. Every second, really, but come on, give me a break. Let's start with minutes. I've always grown up hearing thank God for giving you a new day. Like when you wake up every morning, say a prayer and thank God, like, thank you for this day. Thank you for an opportunity to, walk on this earth again and breathe and make new choices and decisions and have new experiences. And I truly believe that we get that opportunity every single moment of our lives. We don't have to wait until midnight. We don't have to wait until New Year's. We don't have to wait for the month to be over, the week to be over. We can change our mindset now. And really, now is all that's happening. It's funny, I have this t shirt. It's literally my favorite t shirt. I want to say I got it as a gift a couple of years ago. And on the front, it just says one sentence and it says, "What will you do with your now?" And then on the back, it's this whole excerpt from one of my favorite books that is basically a poem, sort of, on the present moment. And I can't read it verbatim because I don't have the shirt in front of me. Some of my friends make fun of me for it because I wear it so much. It's kind of like the comfy girl vibe shirt that I put on, and it's aesthetic. So that rings very true, I feel, in my life, and the mindset that I'm trying to foster, because when it comes down to it, we're only ever living in the now. The past already happened. The 20 seconds ago, when I was telling you about that t-shirt, that was the past. And it's crazy to think about that the only moment that we have to make decisions is in the now. It's this moment. So while it's nice to think about a reset on New Year's, or we have all these different traditions, if you will, right? Like, well, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday was awful at work. Thursday, Friday is probably going to be awful too because Monday through Wednesday were awful. And so, therefore, I can't reset until Saturday. Like, that's not true. Same thing with like this year. Like, let's say January through March is just awful. And now you're writing off the entire year to, well, I guess this is my 2025, and now you're just putting out that negative energy and creating more negative scenarios through that negative energy and that mindset that you're holding, just waiting for what, December 31st at midnight? Like, really? Like, that sounds like a waste to me, but it's so easy to fall into. I have fallen into it so many times. Wow, I completely just got into the philosophy of the current moment right there. But goals. Maybe we set goals at the beginning of the year, maybe we didn't. For some of us, and for me myself, some of these goals might already be feeling out of touch. Maybe you planned them out and you were doing really well the first week or even just the first day, and then life got hard again. Responsibilities remained or new responsibilities crept in, and now you have these goals and you're starting to feel deflated. Like, I set these goals, it's already February, nothing's happening, I haven't touched any of them, or I tried and I failed, clearly I'm a failure. And I am here today to remind you that you are not, And sometimes, most of the time actually, goals just need readjusting. And that just shows that you're learning and you're willing to make those readjustments instead of just thinking that first shot is all you've got and that's it. You can't grow as you go because you can. And I am here to help you today in order to do that. Whether you're facing unexpected challenges or just need a new approach, we're going to explore how small shifts can keep you moving forward and excited about those goals that you clearly set for a purpose a month ago or however long ago when you're listening to this. So, I want to start with talking about why goals actually change. Like, why does that happen? Because we're all excited, we're sitting down, it's New Year's, we're making these new goals, we're reinventing ourselves on paper, and then it changes. We don't follow through. Like why? What's happening here? The first thing is that life happens. Like please take a moment to give yourself the grace of remembering that life happens. Unexpected challenges pop up, new opportunities shift our focus, whether it's good or bad. You have to remember that any change is going to cause a certain level of stress and disarray in our lives. So, all the way from, one extreme of losing a loved one, all the way to the other extreme of going on a journey to travel around the world. Both are going to be stressful in their own ways. So I'm just here to remind you that life happens. Just because something is good doesn't mean that it isn't going to cause you stress in a certain amount of ways. So don't beat yourself up if maybe you've gotten a new job within the past month, or there's been additional responsibilities, or you've just been proposed to and now you're planning a wedding. And don't beat yourself up for feeling stressed over all of these things and them actually knocking those goals that you had off schedule. When you notice that your goals are off the rails for whatever reason, there is a key difference that I want to point out, and it's your crossroads almost between flexibility and completely giving up. It all leads back to how much you actually care about this goal, how much this actually means to you in your life, because sometimes, quote unquote, giving up on it isn't even a bad thing because you've realized that it's not aligned with what you want to do anymore. You want to go in a completely different direction, and that's okay. That's the conclusion that you've come to. That's good. In that case, quote unquote, giving up on a goal, it's really just reframing your priorities. If you come to the conclusion that no, like this is a goal that you still want to work towards, you just got a little sidetracked and things came up, good or bad, things came up, and you did not have the ability to focus or think about this goal at all. In that case, flexibility is going to be your priority here. You're going to want to reassess, readjust, and we're going to get into that. But really knowing that key difference between, is this a situation where you're realizing that this goal isn't working out for you at all? It's not really what you want to do anyways. Things changed and it's time to abandon and pivot. Or is this still something that you're really excited and on fire about and it still makes sense for your life, but you just haven't had the opportunity to work on it? That's where we need to implement some flexibility. There are also a lot of common reasons that people abandon goals too soon. For example, fear of failure, unrealistic expectations, and burnout. Burnout is so real, especially when you dove headfirst into a goal 100%, go, 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 go. You woke up on January 1st and you decided to just hyper extend yourself. You worked out for 4 hours. You read 5 books. You went to 3 saunas. You worked 4 jobs. Like, obviously, these are extreme examples, but sometimes we do have this tendency to go all in so much without doing that pre-planning, without considering how implementing this new goal might actually fit into our current lives, because that's what it's all about, really, right? When you're implementing a new goal in your life, you have to heavily consider how you can make that fit into your current life more than anything else. Otherwise, the entire goal is just going to get given up on, pushed to the side, and abandoned. Because if you can't make it fit where you are right now, it's never going to work. You're never going to implement it. It's never going to snowball. And if it's, a goal that could potentially transform your life and become a job or something in the direction that it pivots everything, you still have to start right where you are. You still have to start in the job that you're in the schedule that you're in, at the school you're currently at, and you have to make that goal fit there to allow it the time and space and opportunity to snowball into what you hope this goal to one day flourish into. So it is so valid to face burnout quickly too, because all of a sudden your other responsibilities, if you're prioritizing the goal, your other responsibilities get pushed to the side, and sometimes those things just can't get pushed to the side. Like, you need a paycheck, you need to maybe provide for your family or just make rent. So then in turn, the goal naturally gets pushed off to the side. It's like, oh crap, well, I just worked on that full throttle for 3 weeks, but now everything else is suffering. So I need to completely, like, clearly the goal isn't working out. It doesn't work in my life. It doesn't fit in my life. I'm done with it 100%. Back to my normal life. No more goals. That is where you need to implement more flexibility, and you need to step back and reassess and really see where things went wrong and how we can pivot now and readjust those goals. So, after you have decided that this is a goal that you want to continue going after, you have reassessed your priorities, this is still aligned with the life that you want, now we're going to adjust without losing momentum. Now, my first tip is to tweak the approach into small adjustments, because they can make a really big difference. Do not put a small adjustment past being able to make a monumental difference. I'll give you an example from my life. So, one of my goals this year is to implement yoga more into my morning routine. I have never really had a solid morning routine. I have gone a few weeks at a time throughout previous years, really doing good with it, getting up at the same time every morning, drinking my water with lemon in it, and then doing a yoga flow, and then washing my face and meditating, like the whole thing. And then I just fall off. One day I wake up and it's just not working. Maybe I went to bed too late that night, and the next morning I am so exhausted I can't wake up on time. And then when I do wake up, I don't have time to do the yoga flow. I just have to rush and run to work. So, what I have realized through going through this process myself and reassessing my own goals is that maybe 30 minutes of yoga is too much in the morning. I already have to be up and at work pretty early. I work for a public school system, so, typically it's way earlier than 9. So, already having to do all the girl things like get up and do your hair and do your makeup and whatever, like 30 minutes of yoga is a lot when I already have to be at work really early. So what I started doing was I reassessed and I was like, okay, what can I find on YouTube for a shorter yoga flow? And you will be surprised. On YouTube, there's 3-minute meditations. There's literally, like, on this meditation app that I have, there are 30-second meditations that are purposefully meant to be for in the middle of your workday. Like, if you quickly, like, run to the bathroom and you, like, literally need a breather, and it's just 30 seconds just to reground you, to regroup, and it is crazy what 30 seconds can do. But basically, I did some research and I realized that you can still get a full good yoga flow in that makes you feel good and ready for the day in 10 minutes. Now that gives me 20 minutes back. That makes it way more reasonable to attain. And when I wake up on an off morning where I'm still, a little late, maybe I slept in a little bit, it's like I can still find 10 minutes usually. Not always. Sometimes this does not work, but usually I can still find 10 minutes. So, just tweaking the approach, making small adjustments, and that can be brought across the board. Small adjustments with any single goal that you set. Maybe you set a goal to work out for 1 hour a day. Maybe that's not working out. Maybe you should do 30 minutes a day instead. We always want the end result. We always want to reap the rewards before doing the work, but the reality is that you have to create the habit first. That's step 1. If you haven't even implemented, a routine where it's like second nature, like just like you would get out of bed in the morning and brush your teeth. That's how second nature these habits need to get. And in order to do that, you have to start small and it has to be obtainable. Because if not, you're way less likely to follow through every single day. You might be way more likely to do a 30-minute workout instead of an hour or an hour and a half. I'm way more likely to do a 10-minute yoga flow every morning instead of a 30-minute yoga flow every morning. And it's also easier to get back on the horse, if you will, when you've fallen off, because instead of falling off of a 30-minute yoga flow, when you fall off of a 10-minute yoga flow for one morning, the next morning you're like, well, I didn't do it yesterday, but 10 minutes isn't that bad. I can do it today. And slowly, as it becomes more and more and more of a habit, you automatically start increasing your time because it's not necessarily a problem anymore to keep showing up. Now, you might actually want to show up more because you realize that you can accomplish more. And this is especially true with things like planning a podcast. That's a great example for me. It was very hard to figure out and get into at first, and a lot of the technical aspects were challenging and just mind-boggling to figure these different things out. But naturally, the more that I kept showing up every single day and giving it at least 5 minutes, a 5-minute Google search on something that I was stuck on, naturally I started wanting to give more, and all of a sudden I'm sitting down for 30 minutes, and then all of a sudden I have my headphones in and I'm just listening to music and I'm planning out episodes totally in the flow state for like 3 hours. And it's like, whoa, like this is awesome. Like, how did I get here? And it was because I created that foundation, and you can do that with anything. Listen, you guys, in a world that spends most of their time on screens, I am all for a healthy escape. Whether that's just stepping away from the screens or getting lost in a good book for a while, we need that break. And if you're looking for that kind of escape, you have got to check out sarahcrownbooks.com. Some people are born storytellers, and let me tell you, Sarah Crown is one of them. From recording her first stories as a child to studying under top Hollywood story experts like John Truby, she has built a life around words, weaving thrilling narratives with depth and heart. With degrees in psychology, education, and law, Sarah brings a unique perspective to her writing, one that grips readers and just doesn't let go. Trust me, her stories are the perfect way to unplug and dive into something unforgettable. Her latest novel, All These Threads of Time, is the perfect blend of heart-pounding suspense and mind-bending time travel. Set in the 80s, when Sylvie Mitchell discovers that she can jump through time, she's determined to save her family from a serial killer. But the past fights back in ways that she would have never expected. If you love mysteries with a twist and time travel that'll keep you on the edge of your seat, this book is for you. And if you're looking for more than just stories, Sarah's Substack called A Busy Lady is your backstage pass to her writing journey. She takes you behind the scenes with inspiration, writing tips, and more. Whether you're a writer, a reader, or just someone looking to live a more creative life, A Busy Lady will give you the tools and motivation you need. Don't miss out on Sarah's thrilling books and creative wisdom. Check out sarahcrownbooks.com for more information on her books and Substack. That's sarahcrownebooks.com. In stories, we find ourselves. Another thing I want to touch on is if you're at the point now where you're sitting here and you're like, okay, Dana, yeah, I set goals at the beginning of the year. I've fallen off. I'm feeling a little inspired to get back into them, but I just like feel bad. Like I feel like I already failed. I failed once. I'm going to fail again. Why even try again? What I want to say to you is that setbacks are a learning opportunity. 100%. It isn't failure, it's feedback. And if you can use that data in order to make positive improvements in your life, that's amazing. That makes the setback a success. Your quote unquote failed goal is no longer a failed goal. It is something that you transformed into a way to teach yourself how you operate, how you work best at implementing new goals into your life. But the difference is doing that, is taking that step, is swallowing your pride and being able to make, yeah, I admit it, but I'm going to try again. And if I fail again, I'm going to try again after that. And I'm going to keep doing it and doing it and doing it and keep reassessing each time and making sure that this goal really truly does align with my life. And I'm going to keep getting up. Because isn't that so true? Like, success is in the trying. It's always in the trying. You literally can't fail if you just try. Call me a Pinterest quote, okay? Call me. I just happen to love Pinterest quotes. I don't even think they're cringe. Call me a Pinterest quote, all right? Success is in the trying. You literally can't fail if you try. If you just try. I will never fail at this podcast because I've tried. It doesn't matter who listens to it. It doesn't matter if nothing ever comes of it. It doesn't matter if the only people listening to it is my mom and my brother. Like, it literally doesn't matter. I have succeeded because I tried and I have done the work and I'm putting myself out there. That is the same thing for you and your goals. As long as you keep getting up, you have to be able to swallow your pride and not care that you failed because you didn't fail if you try again. How beautiful is it that you have the opportunity to turn any said failure into a success? Like, you have that power. That's amazing. You have that power. You get fired from a job, you can apply to different jobs. You make it to the last round of interviews and they pick someone else. You get back up, you put your application in other places, and you interview again. You have not failed. You are succeeding because you're trying. You get broken up with, and after healing and doing the whole thing, you put yourself back out there and you meet new people. You can never fail. You really can't, because it's all about your mindset. And so this failure is beautiful, beautiful, raw data. Like, it's honestly awesome. I am so glad and thankful that 30 minutes of yoga every morning didn't work out for me, because now I'm reinforcing my morning routine and I'm able to switch things up and just make my life better by learning more about myself. So just use everything as a learning opportunity. When you're walking into new goals, or maybe you're at the point now where you're like, yeah, I'm going to reframe, I'm going to reset, I'm going to try again. It still may not work out. You might not need 10 minutes of yoga. It might only be 3 minutes of meditation that you can handle every morning. The point is that you're able to learn from that, and that is absolutely amazing. So I want to give you all some practical tips to stay on track, because I know that when you're trying to implement something new into your life, whether that's a habit or a change, whether it's a big pivot or it's small, we have to stay practical. Just like I was saying before, we are currently living the lives that we are living. We are working the job we're working, we have the friends we have, we're in the relationship we're in. If you want to make a change, you have to start small, and it has to be practical. Otherwise, it's not really going to stick. It's never going to snowball. So my first tip is to set mini goals. This one is really big for me. I usually like to, the shortest amount of time that I'll go with goals is weekly. So starting at the beginning of the week, maybe Sunday night, sitting down and saying, all right, what are my top 3 priorities this week? What do I need to do in order to feel successful in this goal? So if it's exercising, for example, maybe that's just show up to the gym twice a week. Don't even write in there like show up to the gym and have such an aggressive workout that you literally vomit on the sidewalk and can't drive home because your legs are shaking. No, just show up to the gym. Because I don't care if you show up to the gym and you walk in with your gym bag and then you stand in the gym and maybe you like look at a treadmill and then turn around and walk back out and get in your car. That's fine. You showed up to the gym. That is slowly going to reinforce that habit of showing up to the gym. And eventually, you're going to get there and you're going to be like, well, I want to try the treadmill. I want to check it out. I want to see what's up. I want to see what's up on that machine over there. What's going on at the free weights? Like, I'm getting more comfortable. I'm here anyways. I might as well not waste my time. But it all starts with building that habit. So, week to week, I would say give yourself at least 3 mini goals to set. And please make sure that they are mini to start out with. So if you wanted to read more this year, all right, literally make your goal to read 1 page a day, not 10 pages a day, not 3 chapters a day, 1 page a day, because I guarantee you that once you get through that 1 page, you're probably going to read another. And you're probably going to end up reading 2 or 3. You might even get a chapter in before you fall asleep. You know what I mean? But if just reading that 1 page hits your goal, then that is going to just snowball and you're just going to start feeling better and better and better. So set many goals, and you can even expand. So you can have weekly goals, and then obviously maybe month to month have more broad goals that you're working on. And those weekly goals actually work towards accomplishing that maybe semi bigger goal for the month. My next tip is, if you can, try to find accountability and support, because community really does help keep you motivated. So the people that you have in your life, those closest to you that you trust, tell them about what you're doing. Say, this is my goal. This is what I'm doing. Can you please just check up on me with it? Keep me accountable. And let me tell you a sneaky little secret. If you feel like maybe you're being a burden, or why would other people care about my goals, or now I'm making other people do work in order for me to accomplish my goals. First of all, if that is the case, then maybe you need to reassess the people in your life. But second of all, majority of people want to feel needed. And by you asking someone to just, hey, check up on me with my goals, like, can you just be a support system so that, I have some accountability and don't fall off, that makes someone feel needed. It gives them purpose. And that is a beautiful gift to be able to give someone else. And lastly, we touched on this before, but keep getting up. Keep getting up no matter how hard it is, no matter how badly you fell the last time, no matter how long it's been. I have gone literally years before actually getting into a goal that I set and really getting into the rhythm and flow with it. I'm still working on goals from 2 years ago. It's sometimes a long process in the making. And if I had fallen off of yoga back in 2023 and I was doing really good, and then for whatever reason, things got busy and I stopped for a couple of months. And then if I had never gotten back on the mat and started doing a yoga flow again, even if it was just one, and then I didn't do it again for 2 weeks, and then I did it once, and then a month went by, even if it was sporadic like that, just those acts of getting up, it proves to yourself that you can get up. So the next time you fall, it's less daunting and it's less crushing, because it's like, all right, I fell again. It's literally been 2 weeks. It's been a month since I've done yoga, but I've been here before and I got up before and I did this before. I can do it again, and I have the hope that this will become a more implemented part of my life, and as long as I keep trying, I'm succeeding. Just to recap everything that we've talked about today, goals change because life happens. It's okay. Be kind to yourself. Get back on. Know the difference between flexibility and giving up. Really take some time to reassess your life and how these goals that you set at the beginning of 2025 align with your life now. Should you keep them? Should you pivot? Should you just change them and, maybe lessen the workload? That's all up to you to decide. And that can be a fun process to almost restructure your life and how you approach everything. It's like another mini New Year's. Instead of sitting down and creating all new goals for the year, you're sitting down and figuring out how they're actually going to work in your life. Make sure you're making small adjustments. Remember that they can make a big difference and use setbacks as a learning opportunity. Remember, we're collecting data. We're trying, we're seeing where we get stuck, and we're constantly going back and forth, back and forth. All right, this worked here. I stayed on the horse for like 3 weeks this time. What was different? Okay, it was a 10-minute yoga session. Okay, maybe I dial it back to 5 minutes. Constantly going back and forth, using that data and rearranging how things are going to work and how you can make this a more steady, implemented goal in your life. Setting mini goals in order to build momentum and celebrate the small wins. Find accountability and support. Open up to those closest to you about your goals and give them a purpose too to help you along this journey and be that partner side by side, making sure that, you're doing better and making you feel better about the goals that you're going after. And last but not least, reframe failure as feedback. You can improve and refine your strategy by failing. Failure is a good thing. We all need it. We all have it. It's just a part of life, and we can use it to make big change and big difference, and ultimately a happier, more fulfilled life. All right, thank you for being here. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you feel inspired to sit down and look back into your goals that you initially made at the beginning of 2025. I believe in you. I know that you can do it. Even if you didn't make any goals at the beginning of 25, but you're feeling a little inspired now to visit some, and maybe it's time. It doesn't matter that it's February. It doesn't matter when it's March or April or May or June or July. You get the point. You don't have to wait for the weekend to come. You don't have to wait for the month to end. You don't have to wait for the year to end. Life is happening now. Now is all you have. So make now count. If you want to stay up to date with this podcast, give it a follow on Instagram at The Lot of It Podcast. All episodes are also posted on YouTube. You can find them at The Lot of It Podcast on YouTube. And new episodes every other Wednesday. I can't wait to see you all next time.